I've been bout my papyrus since I've been in it. Put me in a debate, you know I'm gon' win it. If I scream black power, don't get timid. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. Primary research and we done pushed it to the limits. All you dudes finished. The king counting cattle up with brother Reggie. When I'm in Oakland, smoking, bro, they love the Chevy. Back in the day, it was the spokes on the chariot. Long procession when the king got carried out to every spot. Woman looking nice as ISIS. I read ancient texts, so my advice is priceless. Nubian gold, your ice don't entice us. Beating me harder than counting grains in your spices. Your heart was beating, but your brain dead, you're lifeless. Yo, they ain't nothing like us, yo. Don't try to make me mad. Make me smile and say you love me, man. That's real right there. Yeah, come on. You should listen to your main man's advice. Do a YouTube and apologize like Dice. Or the back fade coming like the Antichrist. Egyptologists see me reading and said that I'm nice. I got a speller with your name on it. I'm like Sargon. You the type of dude wake up and your car gone. Told, cause of the money you owe. Before you stream, you should clean up that humble abode. Like Akhenaten City for my woman in gold. I keep the pseudos running, people coming in droves. You catch me on a live stream with Pan-African James. When we building, call us by our African names. I'm for the children. And ain't nothing happened to change. We on that black hype, so we still packing them things for protection. Got connections. My complexion, pure black, that's the essence. Make me smile. You love me? Show me some love. All right.
Yo. Well, what up? What up? How we doing? We gonna get back popping. I just been doing, handling business. I got a show coming up and I need to be on point. I've been getting my practice time in, but I need to practice more. Anyway, we gonna probe the question and talk about this thing. I ain't on my FBA hype. Y'all can call me that all y'all want, but I don't rock like that. I ain't dividing shit up. I'm still Pan-African, and I'm still including more people in my shit. Cats don't like that, so it is what it is. But let me play one more slapper, let some of the people roll in, and let's have a cool little build. If we get some good support, we might be able to stretch this out. I was thinking I owe them like some hours, so we could build. But let me play that, and we get right into it.
Black people, I love you, and I love you enough to tell you, you ain't ready to revolt shit. You don't feed yourself, you don't hunt your own animals and slaughter them, you don't prepare your own meat, you don't own your own land, you don't have a seed growing in your window. So you think about revolutionaryism, and you think about fighting and dying in the street, you ain't shit. Mike said black people ain't ready to revolt. It's a disparaging marriage and he ready to elope. Maritime coastline, deep V hull boat. Crack a nose turned up, machete to your throat. The divine snatched the arm back, she fine, she in Zinga. Moroccan mercenary got a line on Moringa. Ask Chief X to swing it. Go fund me to rock a new car or build a school like I'm Dr. Umar. Nah, go fund some more guns, banana clips and cannabis, and bury it, the jackal, Anubis. I'm cool, keep them heaters, and I'm in tie in an abyss. He ain't rapping due to libations, he just channeling this. Hands down, you ain't ready to oppose nothing. You are as a part of this system as any white person gentrified. I'm on life. Hovercraft propellers over swamp water. We make the thoughtful think they should have thought harder. Be aware of this. Don't blink, there's only one blunt between the careful and careless. It's hard to face it when you need a shrink or a therapist. Mental disorder ordered them to label you a terrorist. I I breathe elements, and I found the secret. We could all walk on water if it's ground beneath it. I carry my weapon and keep my trees, and still be Hotep and ask to rig Nasheed. 6 in the morning, I greet my seed, then do everything I think I need.
I have to say this because I know our spirit and our emotions get stirred. I'm not against nobody on the panel. I'm with everybody on the panel. I'm not I agree with everything my brother said about revolutionaryism. So let me ask you guys a few questions. We're in the South. We're in the heart of the South right now. Who fishes? Who knows how to fish?
I know how to fish.
Who knows how to hunt? Let's hands down.
I know how to
hands
hunt.
down.
But that ain't the type of revolt nobody needs. What's up with y'all? Peace to the people. Make sure you put up a comment in the chat when you step in so we can get this right. Right? What's up with Sankofa? What's up, Tone? 360 Cuban Crisis in the building. What's up? All right, we setting it off. I ain't been streaming for a minute, so you know how they do you. But I'm going to put some hours in so I can get back in the algorithm. But I ain't never been one of the people who like to fight over some shit I ain't making the most money off of. Hello, let's get back to it, man. God damn. So you want to fight over some shit that, well, I take that back. Because people will say, you fight over the legacy of Egypt, but y'all know I get money off that. I'm from hieroglyphics. Stop playing with this shit. Like if any Egyptologist ever wanted to buy, if Egypt wanted to buy the domain hieroglyphics, they got to talk to us. We were smart enough to buy that before any Egyptologist. And we rocked that, we banged that, so I can't say that I was right. I can't discredit myself. I have to say it's stupid. To me, just let me talk, man. It's hella stupid to be fighting over something you ain't even getting the most money off. Not even the most money. But hip hop, and I'm not talking about individualism. I'm not talking about our individual pursuit of happiness. I'm talking about the economic system where we fuel it. We say we control it. We say we created it, and we ain't getting the most money off of it. It ain't even affecting people who don't really do it. All right, I hope y'all following that. When black people went into factories, and I'm talking about, maybe 50s and the 60s, start getting factory jobs and, all this stuff that was happening for the middle class family, right? That did more to help our communities than hip hop, the economic system of hip hop is doing. I could argue that. It was more accessible to funds. I'm talking about working a 9 to 5. Black people finally saying, okay, we making economic migrations, right? There was a lot of economic migration, some to the north, some to the west coast, coming up out of the south. We didn't really control no industries at that point. It was not one industry where we could say, well, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not trying to speak like an authority. But what I'm saying is, what industry did we create our own in the 50s and the 40s? Similar to where you could say the hip hop industry was not in the world. Now it's $1 billion industry that black people don't get the major benefit from. That's just a fact and a reality. And so when I said, unless you ain't doing it, what I meant is you have to actively participate in the music industry to reap the benefits of it. And most often it's in the form of being an entertainer or being the fuel for the system, right? What that benefits, like, let's take me as an example of a black man who chose that about 16, 17, I was like, I can't do it. Them jobs and stuff, it wasn't working. I was like, I just got to figure out how to get money in the world by doing art, right? By doing my art. You know, it was rap and whatever. Basically wanted to be a rapper. I got my record deal at 17. I'm in Oakland, California. I got a record deal at 17 to Jive Records. So it wasn't nothing small, it wasn't nothing little. Now I'm gonna talk about this, and this is going off the subject, but it's just gonna make you say, damn. I did a show showing old artists how to find their bread and their paper because that's what I do. I talk a lot about Egypt and stuff online, but I'm actually a CEO of a record label. Also a recording artist and a performing artist, right? So I was giving out advice. I'll be seeing people saying they ain't got paid from stuff in my situation, and I know how to do it. But that same record deal, and this is all suit up, and I'm about to eventually audit them and get things corrected in this stage of life. But for my first record deal that they gave me, I got $250,000. I just pulled up some stuff the other day. They gave me this record deal in 1994. Me, Smash, I just pulled up my Sony account the other day, and they said I owed them $220,000. Not like, so it's different. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about it so y'all can understand the record industry and how this whole situation, they just figure out how to take what you got, flip it back right on your head. So let's just talk about, I don't deal with finances. I mean, I was going to say a statement that wouldn't have came out right. Let me try to rephrase what I'm thinking. Morality, it's the umbrella over everything, right? You know what I'm saying? It's morality in business dealings. You will want to be on the moral high ground in most situations, right? But so I don't mount any moral defense against situations that I got into with contracts and shit. I don't like to be like, oh, I was young and they took advantage. Nope, that's bullshit. None of that's gonna ever, get you on some man shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they took advantage when I was young and I had the wrong leadership. No, shut up. It is what it is, and it's gonna do what it's gonna do. Now, what I know about the industry and what a lot know, that's not like any other debt that you could accumulate in your life. Meaning, if I'm not working with them, that's gonna sit there until they squeeze more out of the product. Even though I could just tell y'all let me tell y'all the scam. And this is all talking about why we ain't getting the most. And then here going, man, I got too much to say. So it's something called a recoup rate. Obviously, you can figure that out what that is right in your head. You know how to re-up, to recop, to recoup. But to recoup is to pay back money that was advanced to you. The scam back in the day, first what they would do, and we're all familiar with this, they simply don't call percentages in that type of, in some contractual See, I got to make sure that I'm saying it right, because they do call percentages, but if you ever heard of a point, I got this many points on that album. All they convince you to do is disguise the fact that you're getting a very low percentage, because you would never tell nobody I'm getting 6% off of the album. So they change the percentages to points. Bro, this should be crazy. It'd be like, for real? You'd be like, for real? It's that simple? And you sitting there dazzled, fighting to get, I got 15 points. Rappers don't be getting that. Man, that's 15% of your own shit. So, a recoup rate is not going to be happening dollar on the dollar. You think I sold a CD for $10, then $10 is credited back to my account. Nope. Depending on what your recoup rate is, you might recoup $1 to what you owe. And I'm talking about my real situation that I had with Job. You might recoup $1 off every album sold. So think about this. If they loaned you, I'm going to use round numbers just to make it easy. If they loaned you, because it's an advance, so it's really a loan. It's just they switched the wording. It's an advance. It's just a different type of a loan. It's an advance on your future revenue that you might or might not make. They saying I didn't make it, and I'm going to show you why. Because any of y'all, I mean, not any of y'all, I won't say. So if we use nice, easy round numbers to make this easy, $1 million, and Shares Move saying let him get a stack. You need to let me get a stack. I'm telling you about a debt of $200,000. But not one I got to pay or nothing like that. I'm just showing you how they flip this system up, and now we don't even get it. It's talking about we own it and want to fight our neighbors and shit over insignificant shit and not figure out how to get the issue or how to get the big bag. So if I owed them $1 million and I sold 1 million records, I would recoup that $1 million because they're giving me $1 per record towards the recoupment. But what did the record sell for? The record sold for a minimum $10. I'm just using the round numbers. So they made $10 million off your music, and the debt you owe to them is only recouping back at 10% per sale, 10 points per sale, and or however you want to do it, and then you still in debt because it didn't sell 1 million copies. So they didn't walk away with hella money off your record, but the obligations you got back to them don't mean they got to give you none of that money. That was just some little game. I don't think nobody should be running into those type of problems when trying to get money out of hip hop anymore. They flipped it over. They giving y'all worse deals now, like 360 deals, where they just take everything. So a lot of this, so a good question, everything is everything asked, do FBA know this? Why Tyreek ain't addressing this? Now let's talk about it. I'm FBA just by the nature of how y'all define the word, but I'm not walking around telling nobody that. You ask me, I probably say yeah, but that's not because I'm not in line for reparations, and the other use of it is just separating motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, for whatever apparent reason. And so, but as I'll tell y'all foundational Black African, then you get mad at me, see? Because I play with them words. So as a foundational Black African, then that ain't what it mean. Fuck that. That's what it means. As a foundational Black African, oh man, it get worse than pyramid schemes in this, Chris. But I would say we should give some effort to figuring out some of this. Maybe we won't figure it out, but our kids will, right? Because when people squeezing billions out of what you created annually, it's gonna be an uphill battle trying to wrangle that out of them. They got too many resources and too many things in play. Like, we are subservient to the people who rip us off. At the end of every year, you see Black artists sharing how many streams they got on Spotify to show that they got more than the next Black artist. But if I was just like anybody at Spotify, I'd be sitting back laughing. This is the type of shit I mean. The average employee, I'm not talking about, well, I shouldn't say the average employee. Well, the standard rate of working at Spotify is $220,000. Just working there. That's better than the majority of rappers that you like. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You might be saying that ain't better than I like the top 10 artists, so that's just 10 of them. You say the top 40, that's just 40. It's like 1 million artists. So think about that right here. If you got a young man who is trying to be an artist, you might as well tell them, yeah, you could go into the music business, but you get paid better simply working at Spotify. Most record executives get paid in a year the artist advance. So let's go back to 1994 when my deal was $250,000. Don't you know how many executives inside of Jive that was making more than $250,000 a year? And we got numbers, and we're going to pull it up and look at some of that stuff on the screen. We're going to look at people and look at who getting the money and who they put in our face. We thought this will happen. They always put hella Black people in your face, make you think they the ones getting it. So Dr. Dre, a billionaire, remember they was running that? Because he cut a deal. That means somebody was supposedly giving him some money that was going to push him into the billionaire status for what he did with the Beats headphones. Who giving the money? If somebody about to do a deal make you a billionaire, then they is a what? They are multi-billionaire. And so this is some of the stuff we just want to look at just a little bit. I want to. So let's put some of these people on the screen. Remember when they was talking about, this is how shit work. And y'all don't like some of my views because I see shit different. But peep game about Drake suing Universal. Drake. And when I heard that, I seen what we all seen, how boozy that was for a move inside the battle. But for hip hop, I thought that was a good move. Leave out all of the stuff we say where he know he was using streams too, and he know this and he know that. I know I agree with y'all on all of that. But let me show y'all some of the shit that you're going to say, okay, now I feel you. Right? So, this ain't even the owner, but we could go in on all of that. Universal's music chief New Year's memo. Lucien Grange. This is the CEO of Universal Music Group. Now, I'm not even talking about owners, and we could talk about all of that, but right now we're just talking about people. Don't you know how much more than rappers he make? Let's do some details. Sir Lucien Charles Grange, born February 1960, is a British record executive who has served as the chairman and chief executive officer, CEO of Universal Music Group since 2010. All right, I want to go and just look at some of how much money he making. And what's his name? All right, it says in 2017, Universal Music Group was worth $22 billion. So FBA getting pimped. Let me come on the screen so you can see that I'm including myself as I say that. FBA getting pimped. Just getting pimped. No, legally pimped. All right, let me slow down. We just got through fighting over who owned and who created hip hop. It's FBA, right? Dude, I'm gonna have to start talking to things that get near, dear, and even close to me. Because my homie, my Palestinian homie, made himself one of the richest people in hip hop. And it ain't DJ Khaled. And he followed the template that all of these dudes following. There is a way to rip off black people. You use contracts and get people into situations that take the maximum value out of what they created and give it to you. Dude, to contract does not mean to expand. Let me talk to my youth. I learned this in life. You know how Reggie be saying like what y'all doing? He'll show you the pictures. I ain't never even started going there. Cats will be thinking I'm on some other shit. I showed y'all Andre 3000, Eminem, and a few people what they said. But what I'm trying to say is I really got summons, just like Kemet on trial, where they called me from Oakland to New York to go handle the Hebrews. I got summons the same way in 1994 to get my record deal, right? And if y'all could have been at my album release party in New York, name a person who wasn't there. Name a rapper who wasn't there. That was out. So, I don't want to go down that road. I'm sorry. But I was just saying that to say, like, I got to see some of this shit firsthand. And I could take you to $1 billion company right now, started by my homie. Not black, but sat right in here with us and was just figured, whatever running through his head was different than running through our head, because he like, boy, I know how to get all this money out of hip hop that they not getting. I worked in the office with, this is in a youth center in Oakland. And some community figures came together in order to help the youth in the hood of Oakland. I've talked about it plenty of times, but I got a different story I want to tell. Because I worked in my office, I was the director of media arts. And in my office was, you probably won't believe it, but we all worked in the small office. Me, John Mazak, who is now he's Snoop Dogg's film producer, the one who shot G in, we're gonna talk about that, Sankofa. The one who shoots all the Snoop Dogg stuff, you know, his podcast and stuff. Too Short, y'all know Too Short. I don't have to explain him. And Ghazi. Now, Ghazi is my homie, my man, 50 Bands. And this is why I'm just trying to figure it out, what we be talking about. Ghazi is my Palestinian homie, right? Man, he on top of hip hop right now. Not FBA, but straight Palestinian, rock with brothers all since I met him, always been in the community trying to help, came into hip hop and fixed since we worked at that company, since we worked at Youth Uprising in maybe 2008 or 9, he is now one of the biggest executives in hip hop. Like, you know, talking these billions we talking, half the checks that rappers be flossing on Instagram, I'm talking about from Fat Joe to, include these names. Fat Joe, Jim Jones, Mozzie. You know when they show the Money Man, they getting it from Ghazi. I'm not talking about all the money. I'm talking about on those certain videos where they make those. When Mozzie showed the $500,000 check from Empire, that's from Ghazi. But I'm talking about different shit over here. I'm talking about that's from my Palestinian homie who came in, looked at what we was doing, and said, oh, I'm setting up shit. His shit called Empire. What the fuck is the matter with y'all? So a motherfucker come in and that shit, bruh, everybody know nothing gonna stop these words. I got love all the way. Man, that brother man been holding me down since forever. But I'm saying, am I not supposed to say this? That a black person couldn't figure this shit out? So what it is I'm talking about right now is distribution. Dude, if I pull this person up, y'all gonna say, oh, okay. This my man Ghazi right here. This is where them motherfuckers is getting them checks from. I'm not even playing, blood. I'm talking about what's our game goofiness, bro. Huh? See what I'm talking about? That's my dude. Don't get it twisted, bro. He came up in Oakland with us. Don't look at the way a motherfucker look and be thinking that this motherfucker is not a mastermind, right? Who owns the CEO of Empire. So what is going on here? What part is we losing out? Let's talk about it. The shit they understand that we don't understand. How we get pimped out our own shit. No, I'm taking Ghazi picture down when I say pimped out our own shit, because that's disrespect to him. That's not what's happening. But look at this. In 1995, he worked as an audio career in Third Eye Studios. Cheyenne music label has produced music for 50 Cent, XXXTentacion, Benny the Butcher, whoever that is, Haley Kiyoko, I'm sorry I messed that up, Neff the Pharaoh, The Foreign Exchange, the rapper Big Pooh, Keek the Sneak, Kendrick Lamar. Man, it don't stop there. But, and I'm not taking nothing from Ghazi. He got this from the soil. Let me tell y'all. Let me show you some shit. And $1 million ain't nothing no more. I know, because when they start offering me $1 million, then I start figuring out, hold the fuck up. I went to the store. I don't buy candy bars. I just wanted to buy a candy bar on some weird shit. And I started thinking back to what I used to eat, and it was a Payday. Bro, I went to buy a Payday. That motherfucker was $3.15. So when I used to buy them, from when I was reminiscing, I gotta keep it a little real. You know, they were 75 cents, but I done bought them motherfuckers at $1.50 too, like more recently. I ain't trying to go there. But what I'm saying is, I ain't never went to get a candy bar and it was $3.15. I'm only saying that to say, because when I just said, when a motherfucker offered me $1 million, I'm not discrediting myself. I start thinking something wrong with the money. Like, what the fuck? $1 million is like pesos almost. A house in California, you're not getting one without a smooth $1 million. So basically, a motherfucker offer you $1 million and you live in Cali, they basically offering you a house. And when you look at it that way, you say, oh, hell no. I'm not being pretentious. I'm simply giving us a way to look at shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, let me see something real quick. Maybe I gotta go like this. Hold up. So we're gonna talk about it. Yeah, it was $3.15, James. Ask somebody how much a candy bar costs now. So I'm saying that to talk about the devaluation of the dollar. Right? Let me see my... Y'all know I like showing too much shit. Because I be needing people to understand game when it's recognized game, man. So let me see something real quick. Now this right here is some more of that shit we talking about. But we gonna go slow. This gonna be a long... If I would too, Cuban Chris, but I'm saying the way they doing this, well, look at this on the screen. This is me having to... This is somebody coming out the blue with an email trying to get assets up out of my control. And if we look over here, I just snipped it because I didn't want to put none of the business. We can see the purchase price, $1.4 million to be paid upon signature, subject to customary holdbacks, if applicable during due diligence, the net of our recoup balances if applicable. We could talk about all of that. And there we go again with them unrecouped balances shit they see. What rate is they going to get this net of their unrecouped balances back at? Oh, we're only recouping that at a penny, at a fraction of a penny per sale. So you got your little 1.4 million, could barely buy a house, and they want 100% of everything. And this is just something that, so if you've seen Wiz Khalifa on Shannon Sharp asked him, why did he sell his rights to his music? And what we got to understand is this conversation is either it's getting worse or it's getting better. I don't see it getting, honestly, I don't see it getting better for the future now that we sitting here saying FBA created this shit, we fought for it, but we getting pimped because we don't get the money out of it. We get enough money to look good, just like a runner or a ripper or something, to look good in your community amongst other people like you, and just to have a little house, but your neighbor is just a white man, just a regular person with a normal job. Think about that shit. Our superstars' neighbors be just regular white people. You ain't tripped off that? I be tripping off that. Like, damn, you Jay-Z and he a doctor and he stay right next door. We got to go to Africa on that hype. You want to say fuck it, yeah, I'm just saying. But I'm getting off the point. I'm still making examples, but I'm getting off the point. And I like to make my example. Here's another example from another, oh no, I got to take that away. I thought I had redacted that, but I guess it ain't redacted, so forget it. Well, it's just people constantly and consistently now trying to, you know what's happening? AI, they know something about what AI gonna do. They know something about what these new music rights gonna, oh, let me get off my homie page. I was showing y'all somebody who came in and persevered from the ground up, straight up out of Oakland. I'm gonna give him Oakland, because that's where I know Gazi from. But it say he graduated from the College of San Mateo, got his bachelor's degree in radio and television from San Francisco State. Right? So now you want to talk about it. Let me show y'all some shit, bro. Just the shit motherfuckers don't know. Let me see. This is one of my distributors, and it is one of the biggest distributors in hip hop, in music. It's the Orchard. Right? I control a catalog on there for my collective, but that's not nothing, that's some other stuff. Now, this right here is a distribution company. Earlier in this video, I said I wanted to address some of the economic parts that we missing and why we just simply don't get this shit. So 3 terms of economics, and then you're going to say, oh, as soon as I break this down, you're going to say, damn, I never tripped off that. What are the 3 base terms of economics? Production, well, I'm over here on some bullshit because I'm forgetting one. Production, distribution, and why am I forgetting the other one? Just because I called it up. So somebody put that up in the chat. I don't know what's going on with my brain. It's just totally empty right there. But production, distribution, and what? Y'all, I'm tripping. Oh, I'm tripping. Manufacturing? All right, what? I mean, y'all got to bring me back. Because in providing a service that is in the production, don't have me chat GPT before somebody in the damn chat just fix that. Y'all know the 3 terms I'm talking about in economics, and y'all letting me be boosie for hella long. When you could just type boop, boop. Because my brain ain't working, I can't, you're going to make me switch the subject. Because I ain't chat GPT in that. That's just silly. Y'all really don't know that? Oh, shit. Nah, my bad. Let me pull it up. I thought we wasn't learning. I just said something that I called it, and I want to see. So publishing that's something different than what I'm talking about. So excuse me. Well, what I wanted to talk about really is in the economic process, we know about how that hip hop are basically when you. I'm sorry. No, that ain't. Those aren't the terms I'm looking for. So I apologize. But we're gonna talk about it before the video over once my brain fog clear up. So really, what my point I was trying to make is, and Reggie wrote it on the screen earlier. He was talking about distribution. But when we say distribution, we're thinking about music distribution. I want us to step back a bit and just think about distribution from the economic sense. Who is the distributor? One thing we realize notice this, in most fields, the distributor I don't want to say don't. The distributor is not the producer. And these are two of the standard economic terms you hear about all the time: production, distribution, and I don't know why the third one I'm missing, but I ain't tripping off that right now. So in distribution, think about it. The distributor, let's not talk about hip hop. Yeah, consumption, point of sales. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Golly, bruh. Chris, help me out. Production, distribution, and consumption. Dang. So consumption is us, consumers. I'm sorry it took me so long to get to that, but that's what I was trying to think of these three. So now think about this. The producer in hip hop is not really just the producer, it's the rapper. So you guys are definitely talking about points that help you make the sale. But marketing and promotion are not the key fundamentals to an economic system. Having a market for consumption, and then you start thinking about how you market particular products to individuals who you want to consume them. But that's all a part of the later phase. We just talking about those three basic principles, and we'll notice how FBA us, if we don't understand this is how we're getting ripped off in hip hop and everything. So thank you, Christoph. Producers, distributors, and consumers. So Ghazi don't make rap, right? No, I'm gonna use a better example because he has great, good, honest ambitions in this music. So let me use these characters here. How about Sir Lucien Granger, the CEO of Universal? They're not a distribution group. It's actually a publishing company. But if you think about what side of the economic system they creep themselves into, it is the side that they cannot do. They can't make raps. They don't make beats. But they had to figure out some systematic way to get into that union. So naturally the union of producers and rappers, those who make hip hop, was whatever y'all said it was when y'all was fighting over all this shit, right? You know, who started hip hop, and then it expanded. It wasn't just one person thing. And now as that started, those were still the producers of the music. Even the rappers are producer, because I'm speaking economically. And so if you want to figure out how to get into that, you're not about to be no rapper. But what you're going to find is a fence was put up, an invisible fence was put up between the producers and the greater masses who could consume that material. Now, why would I say a fence was put up? Because back in the day, in order to access the greater masses who would consume that material, first of all, let's be clear. As the shit started out, it started out with just music and shit. So all that distributors and stuff come after figuring out how to get the music to the people. Well, if you created some shit, but you can't get it to the people without distributors or this middleman who put themselves in the middle of you and the people who want to support you, then you got a pimp. You still got a pimp. You got a pimp. I'm sorry at the language and the terminology, but that's facts. Now, let me say it less harsh, because I'm not like Dame Dash, and I do understand business takes a conglomerate of people doing different things. But if you want to figure out how eventually those who produce the music don't make the lion's share of it, it is because we don't take time to talk about shit like this. Who is a distributor that's black? So here we go. If we created it and we are the heart of now it's more ubiquitous, but still it's a black culture thing and we are the heart of it, right? We still functioning as the main producers of that. They're trying to attack that with artificial intelligence too, like most industries is being attacked, but just to see how come we don't make the most money off hip hop. Personally, first and foremost, it is because we got a middleman in between the people who want to consume our music and the people who produce it. But you can't cut that middleman out, right? Not the way we look at shit, because white ice is colder. So I'll be having albums I put out, but they're not considered official albums unless I put them in these platforms. So you heard something like available on all streaming services. That's just an artist telling you that they kind of like a sucker. If you think about it, they're not saying that. But what they're saying is hella people in the way of you getting me the money. And they all gonna take the lion's share before it get back to the artist. Every streaming platform. I'm gonna put this up big so y'all can see it. I made an argument that not just the CEOs of these companies, but the standard person who work at these companies make more than the rappers. You want to know how I know? Because I'm about to show you. I mean, I got accounts at these companies, but I want to show y'all something better. You could get, you could look at their jobs. And this is what's really going to kill you. So I want to see, maybe I'm in the wrong place. I mean, I'm in the right place, but I might be in the wrong place for looking at their jobs. By the way, we're at UMG publishing window, and my session has timed out, but I want to show y'all something, dog. All of the jobs to work here is better than trying to be a rapper. And I'm just saying that to make my point. It's not really true in all totality, but let me make this point. And this is also going to be a very good resource for any of you, anybody watching this video. So remember Drake was gonna sue Universal. Well, this is Universal, but this is careers at Universal. Universal Music Group careers. And I'm only doing this, I also do this personally, because it would be wonderful for me with my prowess to land a job at a place like this. This is that real shit. But let me show you how this go down. Senior Manager of Fan Engagement, Urban, Los Angeles. Now I'm gonna ask you this. And I'm asking you like I'm the oracle and I got the red pill and the blue pill in my hand before I click this button. And I'm gonna ask you, hey, the blue pill is trying to be a rapper and starting with whatever you got now in order to manifest your success as a rapper. And the red pill is click this link and work in the music industry and start as the senior manager of fan engagement. Now, let me tell you, just being humble, if you say I'm gonna start trying to be a rapper, from that day, that's when the clock start, and 1 year will pass, 365 days after that. I would tell you probably in that first year, you're gonna make $0. Probably. In that first year. Click on this and let's see what this say. Red pill, blue pill. I don't know if this is going to be the best. It say full-time position in Los Angeles. You're the senior manager of fan engagement. You can't engage the fans? Let's see how much they're giving out for this. All right, so you might not have won on this one, but this is $66,000 to $109,000. I'll show you rappers who ain't made $100,000 last year off hip hop. Am I wrong? Don't you know hella people who didn't make $100,000 that call themselves a rapper? I'm not here with all only problems though. I got dumb solutions. I got solutions. So yeah, Vernon said that's a win. If you would have took the red pill and now you're the senior manager of fan engagement at UMG, this is a small job and you're getting $66,000 to $100,000 a year. That's a small opening. Look at the manager for digital rights. What am I showing y'all right now? First of all, you see that we working against a system that's well funded with the money that they robbing from us. They get all this money from the publishing that our music make, the use of it, give us back crumbs through streams, and then set up big-ass mega conglomerate companies that could pay out $250,000 per year for little hip-hop shit. Let's see how much this one is. They don't show for this one. It's the manager of digital rights. Let's see what they say. For some reason, they don't show on here what they paying out for this. Let's see if we can get another salary up here too, so I can illustrate my point. All right, that's just $37,058. That ain't it. But now, don't get it twisted. You could go straight to Sony too and do this too. These is hip hop jobs. $49,000 to $112,000 a year. You stay at that job for 10 years, you got your million. You know people who've been rapping for 10 years ain't got their million? Well then. So I'm going to switch the subject because I think I made that point. Not the complete subject, but I want to talk about a little bit about some things as I go back and use my homie for an example. Now, remember when I showed you the orchard? This right here. And they one of the biggest music distributors. Well, this, I think they still in San Francisco, but I'm telling y'all this, but just like y'all tell us how hip hop started from New York, let me break this down right here. That's a good royalty check for you. You know, that's not, don't worry about it, Tone. You got money off your music. That's how you look at that. You got money off your music. That's how you look at that. Don't necessarily look at that digit as if you didn't hop a hurdle that some people haven't hopped. But and if your song generated $36, it really probably generated $300, and you got 36 of that. And that's kind of like what I want to talk about, because we have no way to put in those checks on these publishing statements. They got us looking stupid, and rappers don't want to talk about it. So if you don't want to talk about it, you're going to keep getting ripped off. You just like a hoe. I keep telling you, excuse my language. You don't want to tell nobody that you're getting ripped off. It's how you get ripped off. Oh, man, they got me. I'm going to look stupid. Oh, no. Anyway, so the Orchard, now we know in that economic system, they realize they can't write raps either. But they're going to put out music. They're not going to ask for publishing because they're not that type of a company. They're going to ask for a distribution fee, which means I'm going to get your music to the people who you probably could even get it to easier than us. But we're going to set up an apparatus with all these, gates that you got to go through before you can get your music to the people. It's just a simple distribution template that's been out here forever. But let's talk about the background to this. The Orchard I think it was 3 white dudes, and I don't even want to talk about that. It was 3 dudes in Frisco back in the 90s that started a company before this. And guess who was one of their first artists on it? Us. Hieroglyphics. That company was called IOTA. IOTA. Anybody with some history in hip hop and they know about music distribution, not on some new shit, but on some really know about the shit, they'll tell you something about IOTA. IOTA was huge in the 90s. And guess who was interning at IOTA? See, this is the shit we need to learn how to do, bro. I don't know if he was interning or not, but when I originally met the founder of Empire, Ghazi Cheyenne, was in the 90s in the town when we was doing one of our first independent deals, because remember we got dropped from our record label about 1997. So we had to go find distribution, a way to be able to continue our careers as artists without none of these middlemen supporting us and still get the music to the people. We found IOTA. Ghazi was at IOTA back then interning. IOTA, something happened and they had some type of a split. And some dudes went one way, and the other dudes opened up something called the Orchard. Now, I want to know how much an OG I am on the Orchard, bro. All of these people that they show you on here, if you go look, this is the client login, but if you went and looked at their regular website, all of the people that they show you, come on, bro. Like we was like we were on the Orchard before they formed. Basically, my contracts with them to this day still say IOTA on them. Feel me? And so we grandfathered in and all kind of stuff. Well, I'm only saying that to say the intern at the time of this split soaked up so much game, but he had a different twist, Ghazi. He actually was with the black people. He actually was in the hood with us and in the community, right? And a part of the community, Ghazi. Probably because, they probably looked at him like he fair skinned, but he ain't white. You know, I'm just talking for real how shit be happening. Motherfuckers will click up and don't even have to all be white. They could just be on their light skin shit. Light skin, not black. Feel me? You know how that shit happen. You might be at work and get that feeling. But his genius was to everything he learned as an intern. Now you see the fruits of it because he opened up Empire Distribution. I was standing right there, FBA. Didn't figure the shit out. And the fruits of his labor are not my fruits. You feel me? I didn't do that work, and I don't know too many of us who doing the work. And what is this work? Now let me just talk about it just a little bit, bro. Like, I don't know if it's possible in a type of reality we live in, but all that, so being subservient is just like black people with name brand clothing and shit. My songs sound the same whether you hear it on Spotify or Bandcamp. But we got these name brands that if it ain't serviced through a particular name brand, then it ain't considered official. So if an artist is trying to, for whatever intentions, whether or not they have the underlying thing I'm talking about this video, FBA don't get the main money. They don't even got to be thinking about that. They could just be an artist that don't really want to contribute to all these billions that these execs is pulling up out of our culture. Y'all won't buy their shit. Y'all gonna look at it like, we gonna look at it like they lost a step and they not on the level they should be on. And that level is getting ripped off. That level is getting ripped off by everybody. Like, that's some crazy bullshit. Now look at this. I just want you to peep game. Young Dolph turned down a $22 million major label deal to sign with Empire and remain independent. So it was Ghazi who offered Young Dolph the $22 million. After everything I'm talking about, positioning themselves economically as a distributor of things we produce, they are enriching themselves far more than the producers. You could take the top 10 rappers and then the top 10 music execs. Let's do it. ChatGPT. I'm just going to use the regular AI. By income. Now this is all a scam right here. This is not it. But they mislead us, and I'm going to make it bigger. What I'm saying is, behind Jay-Z and his billions, he got deals he cut with official people who was already billionaires that put him in this position. So basically, for every black billionaire on here, just think 100. Seriously. Or is 100 too many? For every black billionaire we see on here, or millionaire, whatever, think 100 white ones. Tell me I'm lying. Is that wrong? There's 100 white Jay-Z's for every Jay-Z. There's 100, or it's not 100 Kanye's? All right, let me prove it. I'm just going to make this shit hella funny. Here go the highest earning rappers. Now watch this. Here go the highest earning music executives. Now look, We just got through talking about Sir Lucian Grange, the chairman and CEO of Universal Music Group, the highest paid music executive in 2023. He earned $153 million in 2023. Now, hold on, I just want you to look. Because in 2021, Granger earned a total of $275 million. In 2021, he earned $250 million in that 1 year. Right? Now, how much did Kanye make in 2021? I'm just saying. I'm just looking. Look, so Ye earned $250 million. I told you. Dude, this shit came out exactly the same. So, well, I might have been trying to illustrate a different point or something close to this. Kanye West, known as Ye, earned $250 million in 2021. Remember when I said you a superstar, but your neighbor just a white man? You got 450,000 acres. You the biggest boss, and your neighbor just Bill Farley, just doing his life, not even famous. This is the same thing I'm illustrating. Kanye West, known as Ye, earned $250 million in 2021. You come right here. In 2021, he beat Kanye. Granger earned $275 million. He beat Kanye by $25 million. So it ain't no answer to that? Please, it's hella answers to that. It's hella answers to that. But we just got to withdraw from that shit so much that so many of us are so subservient to it that Black people ain't gonna probably ever be getting the majority lion's share out of what hip hop produces. Tell me what I'm doing wrong about saying that. This illustrates it right here. If he make what Kanye made same year, more. Is that how that's supposed to be? Hell no. So basically, if he made what Kanye made, he made more than everybody else in the industry that year. Exactly, bro. This shit is crazy. So I don't know. I don't want to gripe on it. And I don't want to complain on it. But what my crew has done a little bit in hip hop was to try to lay out a template to go against all of this. It's not like we was the first. We learned from a lot of good people about independence. But what we need to do is get in. So here's the thing. Thank you, Christoph, earlier for saying consumption. Because if I just open up a Canva, right? This is all we got to do, basically. Since we can't just be complaining, I'm saying my little simple solutions, bro. Now, these solutions ain't gonna work. It's kind of like getting on code with shit and just knowing in a way. And this don't just apply to rap. This gonna apply to how you stand in the world as a people. These was the 3 terms I was talking about at the beginning of the show. And I know, no, I ain't gonna keep talking about that, but I couldn't think of consumer. Now it gets simple when we start to look at it like this, and then we can say, okay, we definitely can figure this shit out. We just talking about hip hop today and how Black people could get that shit to where it's actually, that's your reparations. Bruh, there's enough money being made in hip hop to repair all this shit if it was coming to who it was supposed to come to. I'm not just talking about the artists, because the way that the money trickles through communities is in a way that it comes through some auxiliary, right? But producers, all right, so we're gonna address this directly. And just to understand, and since we talk about hip hop, the term producer could be confusing, but we're not talking about hip hop producers, we're talking about those who produce the commodity. So we just had a brief debate about that, and the debate don't even matter, because if you producing the commodity, if all the hip hop we listening to right now is basically being made by black people, the shit we listen to, and a few others, you know what I'm saying? I listen to like some other shit, but I'm saying though, it's still at the heart an African thing. Then we are still the producers. So if this position is getting exploited, it's just getting exploited a little bit, but we're still in that position. Another thing we understand is we are in this position completely. We're not the whole of the consumer of hip hop, but we are, a lot of us just consume hip hop, we don't make it. So if you just listen to the radio and give your comments all the damn time and listen, and you might think you're more than a consumer, but you're not. You just a consumer. That's not bad, but I'm saying as long as you realize this, you can realize what's going on. Because the consumers got power, distributors got power, and producers got power. The problem with the producer is he can't get his product to the consumer without the distributor. So instead of rewriting the economic process, we just simply gotta get into the field where we ain't at. And I'm telling you, everybody who know hip hop, even if you just watch this video from what I'm talking about, and you see these 3 words on the damn screen, and you can tell me which one black people ain't when it comes to hip hop. Right? So then there go your answer, and there go the problem. But addressing distribution properly. What am I saying? I'm saying, is that the answer? Kind of like, yeah, it really kind of is. You want to know why? If you produce the music and then you turn it over to a black distributor, well, now you got, I'm speaking that way on purpose. If you produce the music and it's a black music being produced and it is distributed by a black distributor, you let your consumer be anybody and everybody, right? But then these are the point, because the point of sale is right here. Consumer to distributor, that's what I left out. There's really no point of sale from producer to consumer. Let me show you why. That's some shit Hyro helped create. Trust me. I figured out it was a scam to make me appear so big that I can't sell something directly to my fans, because I degrade myself as an artist, because you shouldn't be doing hand to hands. That's the philosophy behind that. That's a scam. That's some bullshit. They convinced us to need a distributor. So you want me to prove it? Dude, hieroglyphics, you can say this ain't true, but you're going to have to prove it. Hieroglyphics was like the first major label artist that sold our own merchandise at the shows. What I mean by that, when you walked up to the merchandise booth, you see one of the rappers or 2 of them or 3 of them. And we started that. But what is that economically? We kind of like started to cut out these distribution apparatuses, which is just some people getting in between you and your consumer in order to be now a gatekeeper and a dictator and a controller in your industry. The best example ain't with merchandise, but think about that. You would never go to no show where you see Run DMC, then you go over to the merch booth and Reverend Run and them is handing out. You know why? Because we put a cool stigma on that shit to where you shouldn't be doing that, right? It's gonna mess up your image. All of these fake shits. So my crew busted that shit open. And guess what we learned? And now other artists know this too. But from what we laid out, bruh, you almost make double, almost triple the money at a merchandise booth if the artist performing is humble enough to go stand by his product. You think I'm playing? It'll be the difference between 3,500 and 11,000. Seriously. If you got some other people selling your merch and there's a sold out show, say you got 1,000 people in the house, probably bag 3,500 for bands. If y'all go stand over there after y'all rock and make people see y'all over in those quarters, you're gonna break 10,000. Most all the time with a following like ours. And so I don't want to get too particular. What I was just giving an example of how basically we gotta not just focus on, see, you don't focus on being a consumer. Motherfuckers make you a consumer. They put ads in your face and they do marketing. Now that's what we talk about, marketing and all that stuff. But notice you don't have to focus on being a consumer. You develop consumption habits. Dog, let me tell you some shit. We figure it's money on YouTube and stuff, right? I might start following somebody just because I got a consumption addiction for information on YouTube. But I'm economic, so I'll be tripping off how I'll be paying certain people simply by watching their videos and following their content. And if you hit certain points, just like I ain't streamed in hella long, and I ain't showing no particular consistency like I'm wanting to grow my channel or nothing, that doesn't mean I don't understand that consistency and don't understand all of the things that make these things work on the screen. All right, they use a lot of data points and all kind of shit to analyze this stuff in the press. But you use your simple data points and shit to analyze shit, just like right when you watching this video. You might be looking at the way I'm looking. You might be doing anything and you're using data points to analyze certain shit. But ultimately, I still got products for sale too, right? And so let me ask you, and I take donations, right? And a lot of people support this channel. What I'm asking you is to look at this like we're in the economics class. What is it that I do that converts or doesn't convert a viewer into a paid supporter by putting up a super chat? See, we ain't got none today or no contribution, so whatever it is I do, I ain't did it today. But think about it. What is it? It's something that converts a simple viewer to a paid supporter in an instance of whatever y'all want to call that. If you think about it more, you're going to figure out what it is and going to focus on manifesting, obviously as a business, manifesting those moments more often than not. I don't know, my man said Master P and Tech 9. I hope you ain't tripping, bro. I hope you ain't trying to I mean, I hope you're giving other good examples of people who did shit independently. But I'm talking about, bro, you know how old I am? Like when I was out, Master P was still shooting hoop with my partner Eric Fortenberry at Merritt. They wasn't rappers yet. I'm from Oakland. Master P from like someplace close to Oakland. Feel me? Maybe Richmond. And he was shooting hoop in the town when we was selling these fucking records. So I learned from Too Short and kind of like E40. You know, but 40 was just following the Too Short template. We learned all that a long time before Master P. Master P learned it from we all learned it from the same game. You feel me? But yeah, Efe probably in the chat. Efe, if you in the chat, tell him what you and Master P was doing while Hyro was rocking, selling all this shit. My man who was shooting hoop with Master P probably in the chat. Shout out Fizo, what's up? But yeah, so we go back hella long ago with laying out that template, coming close to straight out the 80s. You know what I'm saying? If you think I'm making that up, nah, it really was how it was received in hip hop. People was like, they sell their own shows, they do this, and they was looking at our there go Fizo right there, I told you. Motherfuckers be thinking I'm bumping them, Fizo. Y'all was shooting motherfucking hoop while we was Hyro, nigga, rocking shows. Master P wasn't out yet. He was right there with my nigga right there in the chat. I remember. You know I go back, Fizo. I remember everything, Fee. Don't think I'm just some other nigga that don't remember that shit. I told you my nigga was in the chat, so y'all just shut up talking about Master P. I mean, that's due diligence, though. That's my dude, but I'm just saying, no. Nah, he probably was like, I mean, I'm not saying, he probably was following what E40, but we all was learning in the Bay how to do this shit a little bit different. We had record deals, but we lost them motherfuckers. So we had to be like, well, all right, what we gonna do? We had to be like, what we gonna do? And we gonna hit the ground running. So we wasn't originally independent, but by 1997, we was already on it with what we learned. And now you say, oh, well, they came out before then. But nah, see, when we got on record labels, we still was going, when we went to Japan our first time was when we started realizing to sell shit directly to the artists. So ultimately, in this discourse, we got to figure out how to break into this distribution shit a little bit. Because then if we produce the music and we consume it and we can let the whole world consume it, the way we getting ripped off is right here. There's more ways too. When I talked about how the publishers had encroached upon the producer side of this shit. But if you want to know why FBA ain't making the most of the money from hip hop, that's half the damn reason. And it's serious. We don't focus on that shit. We make it and then we think about turning it over to somebody white who got some paper. That's called getting a deal. That person with the paper could be black too. We wouldn't hate it. But our goal is to stop being to make it and to go out and to turn it over to somebody who could give you some more shit. Let me see something real quick.